The leader of the Pan-Niger Delta Forum, PANDEF, Chairman Edwin Clark, has said that the federal government should create commissions for the other oil-producing communities that have been found in the country in recent years, and that Abia, Imo, and Ondo State will be removed from the Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC. In an interview with Arise News on Friday, Clark spoke on the recent development where Imo State had taken the board of NDDC to court to question that the NDDC bequeaths more funds to the minority oil-producing company and give them more opportunity to head the commission. Joining us now for a right of reply on Pa Edwin Clark's position is Akinola Gbonegun, National Coordinator concerned Ilaje Stakeholders Committee of Ondo State. Good morning and welcome to the morning show.
Good morning. Good morning, Dr.
Good to see you again.
Thank you very much. Good to see you too.
The last time you were here, you were on this, oil and gas matter. But yeah, we had Chief Edwin Clark on this program, and he also issued a statement. And his point is that, look, the leadership of the Niger Delta Development Commission is not a position that states like Ondo, Abia, Imo, that are minority stakeholders, minority shareholders, to use that phrase, should be looking at that. How can a state that is producing about 0.01% of crude oil be aspiring to be chairman of NDDC? Well, I don't need to give you the details. I'm sure you know about these details. And that, states like Ondo and Abia and Imo can relate directly with, the multinationals instead of trying to come and share out of what is provided for in the NDDC. Your take.
Yeah, thank you.
This is a right of reply session.
Yes, thank you very much. Well, because we will not have replied, we will not have bothered ourselves, but it's because it is Chief Edwin Clark that gave the press statement. So we will have to reply because people will take it for granted that he must be saying the right thing. With due respect to Baba, the grand old man, I don't think it's right. Ondo State produces on the average more than 5% of crude oil in Nigeria. So that analogy is wrong. And there was a law, an act of parliament in year 2000. Baba Edwin Clark was part of the arrangement for that. As a lawyer, you will have expected that he will have gone to court. But he's now talking 23 years after his ethnic nationality had their shots. He's now talking about Ondo State being a very small producer of crude oil. I don't think it's right. And he related it to companies and, registered companies and this. Companies are guided by article of association. In the case of NDDC, the article of association is section 12 subsection 1. Is a law. We must follow rule of law. Rule of law is sacrosanct. If you look at the 8-point agenda, number 7 of the current president 8-point agenda is rule of law. And he has variously canvassed it. That rule of law, obedience to rule of law must be maintained. Now, and he also said, even at the Economic Forum last week, he said that any mistake genuinely made will be corrected once his attention has been called to it. Baba was not right. Nigeria is a complex nation. It's a constitutional democracy. Bayelsa State is less than 1% of the population of Nigeria. Bayelsa State produced the president of Nigeria. Nobody talked about it. We should do things according to the law. The law should dictate whatever we do. So Baba was definitely not right. And Baba would have been right if all other states have been allowed to produce the executive management of NDDC. His state had produced his ethnic nationality had produced. It now gets to the turn of Ondo, you say they should repeat again. I don't think it's right. And if you look at the presently constituted NDDC board, the managing director, Dr. Ogbuku, was appointed last year on a 2-year term. The 2 years is unexpired. You're giving him another 4 years. Before then, Timi Alaibe had been managing director of NDDC. That is for that. Victor Anta from Akwa Ibom State was nominated to become executive director project. Akwa Ibom had produced on 2 different occasions executive director projects. You are nominating Boma Yaye from Rivers State to be executive director finance and admin. Ogiri Tottenham from Rivers State had been executive director finance and admin. My friend Mene Derrick from Ogoni, Rivers State, had been executive director finance and admin. Right. Now, you created another directorate. The law specified the kind of person who can be as indigene of the oil producing area, not states. The first time you brought it to Ondo State, you gave it to Owo. Owo does not produce oil.
Well, is it not the same agitation? Because the last time you were here, that was what you were saying as well, that, even when they bring it to Ondo State, they should look at appointing people from the area where oil is being produced. Well, with Chief Edwin Clark, he's also saying by proportion of the oil, let's even make it more granular, by proportion of the oil should be those who, from the original NDDC makeup, be members of the NDDC. Because now that we have discovered oil, or oil is being discovered in small quantities in states like, in the northern parts, in Lagos State, are we going to add everybody to the NDDC? Or should we just go back to status quo? The original coastal areas of NDDC member states, and then other states like your Ondo State and the others can then have a separate arrangement due to the quantity of oil that you produce, because it's almost in line with what you say. By virtue of the fact that they are the major oil producers, they should have a major say and major share in NDDC. Yeah,
the mistake they are making, oil was not first discovered in Bayelsa State or Rivers State. Oil was first discovered in Ilaje, in Araromi, by Child Daisy. It will surprise you. They suppress all this. Oil was first discovered in Ilaje land.
It seems like you're writing history.
I'm coming. There is a law. Now, if you want to do anything other than the law, the next thing you should go to the parliament, canvass your position, and effect whatever changes you want. But if you say President Tinubu should wake up in Aso Rock one day and say Ondo State, Imo State, and Abia State are out of NDDC, you only call for violence, anarchy. You have to follow the law.
But I don't think he was asking for due process not to be followed. It's it's the start of a conversation, and of course, if this idea is mooted and agreed on, then it will follow due process, go to parliament and the likes. What we're asking is that, do you think it should be the law? Because law is fluid. That's the law currently, but it can change by amendments.
Yes, you go through the process of change. It's even satanic to say some people. He is the leader of Southern Leadership Forum. Imo State is part of that. Ondo State is part of that. Akwa Ibom is part of that. What you should do, you go through the process. You don't come to television station to inform people wrongly. Even while Baba was talking, rather than talking about the executive position, he was talking about people who occupy the chairmanship slot, which was not in contest by anybody. The chairmanship slot, they have followed the law. They should do that for executive management too. That's what we are asking for.
Okay, real quickly, let's set records straight. Oil was discovered first in Oloibiri in 1956. Where did you get this data of Araromi from? And that's the fact we have. You said it was developed by, what year was that?
Yes, 1932 in Araromi, Ondo State.
Okay.
Oil was only discovered in Oloibiri in commercial quantity. The first discovery by German Bitumen Company, 1914, was Ondo State.
Okay. So what has this first discovery got to do with this conversation?
Now, what we are saying is that they come with so many half-truths. Like when Baba was talking in relation to the chairmanship slot, not the executive director, the executive management slot we were talking of and we are agitating for. So, if you want to talk, address the executive director slot, address the management director slot. Timi Alaibe had been managing director. No other Bayelsa man has any right to any executive, any managing director slot until all other states are enshrined in that act.
So one of the things he was also saying then was, why don't you have it in such a way that NDDC is left for the Niger Delta states? That they can also have something like UMPADEC for all the states that have oil. Take, for instance, we are prospecting for oil in the north. Once those oil come on stream, you can have an oil-producing mineral, whatever state, leave the Niger Delta Development Commission. And a part of his argument is valid because, as we speak today, apart from the NDDC, you have what we call a Northeast Development Commission.
Yes, that's correct.
And that is currently working.
That's correct.
So if Niger Delta Development Commission is there, you have a Northeast Development Commission. Why don't you just leave Niger Delta to be able to cater to the Niger Delta region? Then if there's general discovery, you can have sort of a role like an UMPADEC, that covers all the area where there's oil from. And that's the argument he's also put forward.
Well, it's not plausible. Why it is not plausible is Baba should not have waited 23 years to say that right from inception.
But when is the right time to make his argument? He didn't make his argument 23 years ago. He made it now.
So what's the difference? After his state had benefited, after his ethnic nationality had benefited, you are now shifting the goalpost after a goal has been scored. There is a law. Follow that law. Okay. That's what we're saying.
Okay, what do you recommend? Are you saying that if Chief E.K. Clark doesn't want the current arrangement, he should go to court?
He should go to the parliament. He should go to the sponsor.
Okay.
He should sponsor that legislation in the parliament. But when he says that, it's because he's elderly and is very respected. That's why we are doing this. Otherwise, we'll just have left it. So you're asking me for what I recommend.
Yes.
What I recommend is that the NDDC hat should be opened and the provisions should be respected. Now, engage somebody from Ondo State as MD. Go to Edo State, engage someone there as executive director, any project or whatever. Go to Imo State, engage somebody there as executive director, being the next. Then it's now 3. Go to, Abia State. Engage somebody there as executive director. Then go to sleep.
Well, but it's unfortunate because you see, to what we get to here is about sharing of positions, who will be chairman and all that. But the bigger question on the table has not been addressed. The value of the NDDC as a body. So NDDC, that is meant for development, when you are not hearing about quarrel over position, it's about contracts.
Yes, Dr. Abati, that will happen.
Because we need to go.
That will happen. I had former Governor Wike saying that he was the one who appointed the nominee for executive director project and the managing director yesterday. These guys will only serve his purpose. If you engage someone from Ondo State, from Ilaje, we will force him to do something to Ilaje. Ilaje, we don't have electricity for 16 years. What is NDDC doing? We have places that are not protected, no shoreline protection.
Okay, Mr.
Ayetoro is sacked by Osunsoji.
Okay. We have to go. We have to go because we're back to the same point. Thank you very much indeed for joining us on the morning show.